Steve from Minecraft is in Smash, and I could not be more excited. It's the first DLC fighter that I've really cared about as a character, and I think is just such a great fit. I am so hyped for it. But I'm also excited because I have made a moveset for Steve in the past, and I've always been curious since I started making Smash movesets how my ideas compared to the real deal if the character got added to Smash. And now for the first time I have the chance to do that. So I'm going to go through my old ideas for Steve and his moveset, his representation in Smash, and see how it compares to the real thing. So starting off, I should say that I didn't do super well. I mean, I wasn't trying to accurately predict the character, but in terms of my understanding of how the character would be added to Smash, it wasn't super spot on. I got 5 things absolutely 100% correct, and 7 things sort of correct if you kind of squint and look real hard. First, let's start with the more aesthetic things, as I usually do in my movesets. So I always thought that Steve would have pretty stiff animation, but would need some way to show emphasis in his stronger, bigger moves, and I thought that would be basically through giving him elbows and knees, being able to bend at the joints. And this is one that I was sort of correct on. Obviously, they kept his animations very 100% accurate to Minecraft. He's very stiff and not flexible at all, but instead to show emphasis, they used a lot of rotation where his head doesn't move a lot, but the way that his body swings around is what conveys the actual power. And I think it looks great. I think either way would have been good. So I'm just happy that they didn't make him super fluid like the Minecraft story games. For skins, and you'll excuse me if I look down at my list here for a second, I originally said that Steve would come with Steve, Alex, a zombie version of Steve, kind of like a cross between Steve and a zombie and Herobrine, Creeper, Pig, Enderman, Mario, and Master Chief. And what actually wound up happening was Steve, Alex, 2 sports variants, Scottish Steve and Swedish Alex, kind of along the same lines, as well as Zombie and Enderman, with the Creeper and Pig coming as meat costumes. This is another one that I feel I got pretty accurately. I mean, I wasn't 100% on. I knew that they would do Steve and Alex as the primary alts. I was just wrong about the Creeper and the Pig being palette swaps instead of separate meat costumes, because I didn't think they would do that. Zombie Steve kind of correlates to the normal zombie. I got the Enderman all dead on. I had originally said Mario and Master Chief as palette swap options. I think a lot of times with speculation, especially earlier on, a lot of us considered characters like Banjo and Steve as representatives for Microsoft as a whole, or a character like the Knight or Sans or Cuphead as representing indie games as a whole. In my original concept, I considered Steve even coming with Microsoft spirits. That was before Banjo came out, obviously, but I still thought that that could be a chance to represent Microsoft as a whole. Have Minecraft, Banjo, Halo, Battletoads, Cuphead, all sorts of Microsoft related spirits in there. However, it does seem for each fighter, they really stick to the fighter in the series that they're from. So Banjo only came with Banjo stuff, Steve only came with Minecraft stuff. I think that totally works 100%. It just kind of altered my perception of where the palette swaps could have gone at the time I made the moveset. Now going into the taunts, up taunt, I feel I was more or less 100% right on. I was pretty vague in the original video. I said that he faces the camera and he strikes a pose or he does something. It's a more generic kind of just like pose freeze frame kind of taunt, and what we actually got was of course facing the camera and jumping and waving. I'm gonna count that as I feel that I called the spirit of that taunt pretty accurately. The other 2 not so much. Side B, I said that he would drop a random item and pick it up, kind of similar to Pac-Man, how he holds out the random Namco thing. I figured that it would be fun to have him drop a random Minecraft item with the same normal animation that it would, you know, pop out in front of him and then right back into him. Instead, we have him eating steak. Eating steak is incredibly prevalent throughout all of Steve's through moves and, you know, victory screen and final smash. It was definitely a lot more prevalent than I thought it would be. So I did get that wrong. Honestly, I kind of like my dropping an item idea. I wish that had showed up somewhere, but I understand why it's not there. Down taunt I am actually a little bit disappointed about. My down taunt idea was that he would be in a bed and then he wouldn't get out of it until he was hit or he moved, kind of like Snake with the box, or something like that. Instead, down taunt is crouching and the bed appears while Steve is put to sleep. So again, because it is used, I'm happy it's in there, and I understand why it was put where it was, but I really wish you could just pull out the bed whenever and just sit there laying asleep. And to conclude the broader stuff, when I made the moveset, I said that Steve was going to be very average so that it would be easy enough for a lot of people to pick up. He would have, average jumping, average speed, average weight. He would feel very much dead center, kind of like Mario was usually supposed to. But they did make some of his stats a little bit extreme, like his not good at all jump, and he feels a little faster than in my head he did, but he's still a pretty slow character. So I was a little off with that. He definitely wasn't the pure center, kind of easy to pick up character that I was thinking that he could be, and I'm not surprised at all considering the complexity of the rest of his moveset, but we'll get into that soon enough. Going through his basics and my ideas for those, a lot of them I was reserving weapons for some of the stronger or more unique moves, and that is not how they approached it at all. So just to kind of go through, jab I said would just be a single unarmed punch, and that is sort of true because if you break your weapon, you do that standard Minecraft punch, so I'll accept that. Grabs I said were all going to be very basic. I actually didn't outline the throws at all because I didn't go as in depth with movesets as I do now, but I said he would grab and pummel with his hands, and clearly we have the fishing rod tether grab, which I think is great, and I also kind of saw that as an option when I was playing through Minecraft Dungeons, so I'm glad that they saw it as an option as well. And then there's two throws with the piston, a throw with the fishing rod, and a throw using the anvil. Again, I didn't predict any of that. And then nair, up air, and back air I also said were standard punches. Nair again is, it can be true. If you break your weapon, then you are doing that normal punch. I don't know why, but I didn't make Steve a character where the jab and fair and stuff like that was all the same move, so it would feel like you're walking around hitting things as you are in Minecraft. And in retrospect, I really don't know why I didn't think of that concept. It fits Steve so perfectly, and yet I assigned F tilt and and fair and stuff different moves that in retrospect I'm like, they just handled it perfectly. I don't know why I didn't think of that. So all the things that I said were standard punches. Clearly that can be true if you break your weapon, but it usually is not. Jab and F tilt use the sword. I said that F tilt would use an axe. Up tilt I said would be gravel, placing a block up and then it falls to bury someone, and I think that's a really fun idea still, but Sakurai pointed out that with the axe you're usually looking up at trees, and so he made axe the up air and the up tilt. Brilliant. I think that's a perfect use of that. The dash attack I said would be with a sword. It was actually with a pickaxe, but the one thing that I did get totally completely right in the standard moves is the down tilt. I said it'd be flint and steel. It was the flint and steel. So happy I called that one. It's great. So for aerials, it was the sword when I said it was a punch. Fair is a pickaxe when I said that it was a sword. Up air is the axe and back air is the pickaxe when I said that those would be punches. And then down air, I'm not going to count it as even getting partially right. I thought it would be dropping something. I thought it would drop TNT that would explode after a really short time. And what it actually was an anvil, which is crazy strong in the game. But I'm happy with how they use that. So going into smash attacks, I did call F smash. Got that completely right. I said it was a sword. It was a sword. In my moveset, I didn't account for upgrading or changing your weapons at all. I didn't think that would be a mechanic that they implemented. So I said that all of these were, any weapons that appear were diamond weapons. So this would be with a diamond sword, and it can obviously technically be with a diamond sword, but baseline it's a sword for F smash. Got that, cool. Up smash I said was the bow and arrow. You would kind of charge it and then shoot on an upwards diagonal. In reality it was the magma block. I like both. I'm sad that the bow and arrow doesn't get any representation. I really thought that that was a cool way to implement that without reserving it to like a special slot. So I would say some of the up moves like the up tilt and the up smash, my ideas with the gravel and the bow and arrow, I might like a little more than what they went with, which was just axe and the magma block. But the magma block is brutal and super strong, so I'm still happy with how they used it. And then down smash, I said, was a pickaxe rush. I liked that concept, but clearly with mining being a part of the special moves, they didn't do that. They went with a lava bucket. I think that's super fun. So now let's get into the specials. First, let's start with two that I got completely right, and it was two that I think a lot of people were calling. They are just like super obvious and good choices for moves for Steve. Side B is minecart. It's a great thing. It works exactly like I thought it would. I didn't expect it to grab players if the cart's empty, but regardless, I think it's still an amazing use of the move. And then up B was the Elytra Cape. In retrospect, I would have kind of liked it more if it was an Ender Pearl. I do think that it kind of is a more central part of Minecraft to me, but I thought it would just work a little weird, and I had used it in a different way in my moveset before. I think the Elytra Cape is a very clear choice, like I said, and I mean, they went with it, but I do suck at using it, and it kills me constantly. Then for down B, I actually said that Steve would eat a steak and recover a small amount of health. Like I said, the steak appears very consistently throughout Steve's representation, but they use this move to do TNT. I think that was a great choice. TNT is such a huge part of Minecraft. I had allotted it to down air, being able to kind of build a trap with it. I like it. It creates a lot of pressure on stage, so I think that's a great choice. And now for the neutral special, I said that I sort of got it right because I thought that no matter what they went with, neutral B would somehow let you place blocks on stage. It worked differently than how I thought it would originally, but my original concepts were that it would either just straight up be place block and you could place a limited number of blocks at a time. They wouldn't naturally decay. You could place them on the ground, in the air, you know, whatever. My other idea for a neutral special was inventory, giving you a sort of a menu of things that you could do. So my ideas for that was you could place blocks, you could place webs that slow people down, place water that pushes people. I'm a little sad that the water bucket isn't in the actual Smash moveset at all. Potions of harmony you could throw, diamond armor that would give you basically, you know, Shulk shield properties. An Ender Pearl for teleportation, Potion of Strength to buff your strength, a pressure plate with TNT under it, so they kind of use that in their actual down B, and then a spawn egg that would spawn a random mob like a spider or creeper or something. So the inventory is a pretty ambitious idea, and instead they said, actually, we're going to have to update every single Smash stage because, you know, inventory, that's child's play. Welcome to our moveset. So as we see, Steve has a multi-use neutral B. When you're just walking around the stage, you mine resources that come out with like set intervals and, you know, set percentages, whatever. If you're at the crafting table, which you can summon to you with Shield B, then you will upgrade with the highest available resource that you have. And if you're in the air, you place a block under you, and then you can either build out horizontally or you can jump up and place more blocks. A lot of people use the crafting table in their movesets, and I didn't like the idea of having something static on the stage that you would have to kind of return to and, you know, have to upgrade your materials as you fight. I was assuming it would work sort of like how Joker does. You hit people, and then the more that you build up is the more that you can upgrade your stuff. And then they made this crazy mining mechanic, and it somehow is balanced perfectly because, you know, getting those materials it can really boost your attack power. But if somebody is just running you down, it can be so tough to get up to diamond or even gold. The block placing is honestly a little more clunky than I was hoping it would be. Again, I was hoping you would just place in front of you instead of under you and, you know, need to jump, but it works with the way the whole moveset is constructed. And I think they did it well where you can bring the crafting table to you. It's super fast. You're not, you know, scrolling through menus or choosing what you make. You're just statically upgrading your weapons and your weapons alone. I think they did it very well, and it does make me reconsider my stance on things like an ammo mechanic for Doomslayer or a soul mechanic for the Knight. I do think those are a little more plausible and wouldn't slow down the gameplay as much as I thought they would, clearly the resource gathering for Steve, I think it works very well. Like I said, I'm a little sad that Ender Pearls and a bucket of water couldn't get into the moveset in some way, but as with every single character they had to smash, I think they balanced the representation of different aspects of Minecraft perfectly. And then for the final smash, I said that it would be a cutscene with the end creating a portal that sucks them in, and then the Enderman and Ender Dragon just completely decimate them. They actually went with the House of Boom, trapping them in a house full of TNT and creepers, which I think is hilarious, and I think it's important that creepers get, you know, some really primetime representation. They're basically as big to Minecraft as Steve is. But I do find it weird that the Nether and the End aren't really represented with Steve in Smash as is. My other original ideas for the final Smash would be teleporting to the Nether, or nighttime and a bunch of mobs appear, or just a bunch of falling TNT. So, you know, with the TNT, I was kind of onto something, but I really thought that they would represent the End and the Nether more. On that note, I did get the stage a little bit right. I even got one of the words right. I called it New World, they called it Minecraft World. I think the idea is the same. My idea was a lot more randomized than it is. I was thinking more along the lines of Mario Maker, as I think a lot of people were, where it would just change biomes and layouts every single time, and it would also go between the Nether and the End. And again, I think that is a little bit of a missed opportunity. I also really wish that it was a bigger stage. We haven't gotten any really big stages recently, and I think it's a little sad that they relegated that like strip of land on the stage to trying to account for all the different materials that you'll want to mine. I really wish that it was at least like spear pillar sized, and there was an above world with a lot of dirt and wood, and then below ground with a lot of stone and iron. I think that would have been a really cool choice, and it is weird to me that they didn't have any kind of underground area with the stage at all. I still think they did it well. I do like that you can choose the biomes, and there's, you know, destructible blocks and varied platform layouts and stuff. I think it is really cool, but I do wish they had made a little bit of a bigger stage to represent more of the experience of exploring the world of Minecraft. And then finally, like I said earlier, for Spirits, I said that it could either be relegated to just Minecraft or represent Microsoft as a whole. That was before Banjo got announced and got into Smash. And I also said that there would be a Creeper Assist trophy. This was, I think, even before Joker came out, so we didn't know fully what everyone would bring. Clearly, they've all gotten stages and music and spirits, but no items or assist trophies and stuff. And honestly, I think that's a little bit of a missed opportunity. A lot of these series could bring some really cool stuff to Smash in the form of items from their series or assist trophies. I think a Creeper Assist trophy or like a Horde of Creepers would be an awesome choice. I assume it's because they want to keep things perfectly even between all of them, and not all of them have great options for items and assist trophies, but I do think it's a missed opportunity. As for the spirits, I'm totally happy with it being all Minecraft. I think it does make more sense to stick just to that series' representation and not think, you know, in terms of owners, you know, a Microsoft rep or things like that, because that's ultimately not what the character would represent in Smash. They represent them and their series and the playstyle. So that's my comparison. Like I said, I didn't get it super right, but I do feel pretty satisfied with the things that I did call, with the flint and steel, the elytra cape, the minecart, placing blocks. I think that me and a lot of other moveset makers were onto the general feel that they would go with, without understanding the complete insanity that they would do with the mining and crafting system that they actually went with. And regardless of my ideas, I am so happy with how Steve is in Smash. He's really fun to play as. He's not my favorite, but he's a ton of fun. He's super unique. I love the animations. I think they were great choices for the attacks. I'm just so happy, and I'm honestly content with the whole second Fighters Pass now. Like I said, this was the first DLC fighter I've really cared about, and I think they knocked it out of the park. And that's all I got, so thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. I'll be putting out more of my own movesets in the near future. There's actually going to be one coming later in this week. I just felt like it would be fun to go back and revisit my ideas and see how accurate or inaccurate some of my concepts were. So be on the lookout for my new movesets. Check out Ready Moveset Go. We just released a new episode with special guest Backseat. It was a ton of fun. And once again, thanks for watching.